And flow and rhythm, like any other circuit, is the name of the game here at Spa. If you get the rhythm right, there's the... Oh, and that is a very big one indeed. It's Jacques Villeneuve. Jacques Villeneuve, who had his suspension collapse yesterday. Well, this has to be the unluckiest man in Formula One this year. And amazingly, look at that car. And Jacques Villeneuve gets out of it, and he appears to be perfectly all right.
Well, that's Eau Rouge where he went off last year. And we were saying earlier on, weren't we, and the red flag is out, as you've seen, but we were saying earlier on, and he had the massive speed over the top there on his earlier run. He's very, very brave through there. And for the second consecutive year, Jacques Villeneuve has been too ambitious in Eau Rouge.
Identical circumstances. If you could overlay Jacques Villeneuve in the Williams last year and Jacques Villeneuve in the BAR this year, I think it would be inch for inch the same accident. And thank heavens the result is the same. A perfectly all right driver, albeit a very injured motor car. And of course, without a doubt, yes, the session has been stopped because they've got to get that broken machinery off the track. And look at the energy that's absorbed there. And look at isn't this incredible? He was doing an enormous speed when he went off and into the tyres. And that's another indication of how good the safety conditions are in Formula One these days. As Craig Pollock, who must be thinking, what else can possibly go wrong this year, gets off the pit lane gantry at the BAR position.
You might also be thinking that's another $500,000 just gone in the wall, because that destroys everything. The chassis, of course, all the suspension. Inevitably, it would have broken the engine and the gearbox too. So that car absolutely just disposable. Throw it away. There's very little they can take off of that. And even they throw the seat belts away. Once a driver's had a big impact like that, the seat belts get thrown away too. But other people lose out, of course, at this moment, because, for example, Frentzen was on a very good lap, and that lap gets red flagged off. You are given a lap back in lieu of the red flag lap, but of course you don't get another set of tyres. You've lost the freshness of one of your new sets of tyres. So anybody on the circuit is also paying a little bit of a penalty here for Jacques' determination through Eau Rouge.
It wasn't only Frentzen that suffered, because Damon Hill was in exactly the same position. So was Mika Salo and Johnny Herbert, Jean Lacey and Pedro Diniz. Here's a replay.
Yes, here we go again. It started to get away from him in the foot of the hill, where the compression on the suspension and the car bottoms out, the tyres can go slightly light, and Jacques never able to recover it from there. Does it actually roll over? I was trying to catch it earlier on. Yes, it does. Look, it actually does a roll and ends up right way round again. That is an enormous
with Jacques
accident.
in it, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you're tightly belted. You can't move a muscle. Your head can move from side to side. And if we saw all that in slow motion again, his head would be plummeting like a pendulum from side to side of the car.
Yes, and what's also worrying when you roll over in gravel like that is that the roll bar above your head can often dig into the gravel and still leave you exposed for hitting your head on the ground.
Now, an incredible situation is that, as a matter of course, the BAR people are getting the spare car ready, because, as a matter of course, Formula One being what it is, notwithstanding the fact that Jacques Villeneuve has just been involved in that absolutely mammoth crash at about 160 miles an hour, but they just expect him to come doubling back and get in the spare car and go out. And he will, and he'll probably be very quick indeed. But so, whilst that debris is being cleared up, and you have a look at the runoff area for the corner, with 28 minutes and 51 seconds still to be run when the session is restarted, let's absorb what the situation is. Well, no, let's have a look at Jacques Villeneuve going off. Back end goes straight into those rows of tyres with, and immediately just calmly lifts his visor, gets out of the car, having undone his safety belts, waves to the crowd and sprints back.
Yes,
Mika Häkkinen fastest, David Coulthard second fastest. So it's looking, as Mika Häkkinen there talks to Adrian Newey, the technical head of McLaren in the garage, like another McLaren front row. And Louise has got Craig Pollock with her.
Yes, I have. Craig, that was one hell of a shunt your driver just had. Well, he had the same shunt last year, and he thought it was the biggest one he'd had. But I think having a look at this is the biggest. The most important thing is Jacques looks as if he's okay, and he's ready to get into the backup car.
Any idea what speeds he was doing?
It's not a question of the speed, I don't know, but I know that he was flat out.
Thanks. We're glad he's okay.
Well, we've just seen Jacques walking into the garage with Erwin Gollner, who is the physio at the BAR team and would have been the first chap to look at him.
Yes, I remember having dinner with Jacques in Tokyo last year prior to going down to Suzuka, and he said, oh, let's talk, what's your best ever accident, you know? And he gets so excited talking about his big crashes he had over in IndyCar racing and Eau Rouge here, and Jacques gets quite a buzz out of that sort of thing. While they're clearing up the mess, we're going to take a quick break.